This is the sold-out Coliseum in Richfield, Ohio. Over 21,500, Cactus Arena, an electric atmosphere for Game 4 of the Eastern Finals, the Boston Celtics versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. Unbelievable crowd excitement. This is what Cavalier fans hope will happen, but right now Boston leads the series 2-1. Hello, everyone. I'm Don Quickie, joined tonight by Jerry West. Jerry, you've seen a lot of crowds. You've got to go somewhere to beat this one.
Don, we've seen some unbelievable crowds in the playoff, but I cannot believe the enthusiasm here today. It's very much like a high school tournament. It's just incredible that people here are really up for this ball game as the players are.
Jerry, one thing Cleveland has going for it at this stage in the season is the younger team in Boston does have some injury problems right now.
Well, Don, Boston has nagging injury problems. John Havlicek, a great leader, Dave Cowens, Charlie Scott, all bothered by minor injuries. But Cleveland has suffered a serious injury. Jimmy Jones, the most valuable player last year in the ball club, a fine center. He's hurt. He's lost for the playoffs. And with Nate Thurmond, the old man, he just keeps rolling along, 34 years of age. He's done a great job here. But it could be a little bit difficult as these games wear down because he must get tired.
It's been a low-scoring series. Why?
John, it's been a low-scoring series because neither team will really allow the other team to get out and run. Cleveland runs a control-type offense. Boston has great rebounding strength. But again, you just don't run when people are in good position all the time. And this ball game tonight should be a very close ball game.
There's the horns, so we're just about ready to go. Here's how the starting lineups will break down. For the Cavaliers, Bingo Smith and Jim Brewer, the forwards. Nate Thurmond is the center. Cleamons out of Ohio State and Snyder in the backcourt for Cleveland. And you saw that Boston starting five. Havlicek is up front, playing with a bad foot. Along with Paul Silas, Dave Cowens in the backcourt. Charlie Scott and JoJo White. Before the opening tip already, a din, a constant roar in this arena.
John, when Bill Fitch walked into the arena here, we thought it was the second coming because the people really responded to him.
There are the officials. Jake O'Donnell and Joe Gashu will work the game. Paul Mahalik is the alternate. Nate Thurmond goes up against Cowens, and the Boston Celtics have the ball. JoJo White bringing the ball up court. Driving down in on Cleamons. There's a foul call on JoJo White. He took the ball down low and drawing the foul, getting in position for it. Will return the ball back over to the Boston Celtics. So well done by Dick Snyder of the Cavaliers. And no points on the board. The opening moment to the first quarter. Bingo Smith, a 6'6" forward. He can go to the backcourt if he has to with the ball outside. Jim Brewer coming out against Paul Silas. Muscle on muscle. Celtics dropping off. Blockading the lane as Brewer brings it down with the dribble. Staying away from the ball now on the far side is Bingo Smith looking to get open. Snyder throwing up a 35-foot shot. Hit an air ball. They had to get something off as the shot clock was winding down.
Ron, the thing you're going to see in this ball game, Boston picking this team up all over the court. Four courts, pressing them like that. Get Cleveland to run some time off the clock. Brewer went one-on-one there. They had to take a desperation shot, which missed everything.
Charlie Scott gets free in a back door. Picked off of Paul Silas. And with that great speed at 6'6", right to the basket for the first points of the game. It is a 2-0 game. The Boston Celtics are in the lead. First quarter of the fourth game, the NBA Eastern Finals. The Boston Celtics are regular here. The fifth year in a row they've been in the Eastern Finals. Here is Dick Snyder driving to the basket, and Cowens takes down the rebound. But before he does, there is a whistle and a foul on the ball. Nate Thurmond is called for the loose ball foul.
Don, I think it could hurt Cleveland a great deal in this ball game if Nate Thurmond were to get in foul problem. They really haven't had much play off their bench. And, of course, Nate Thurmond hasn't played a lot during the regular season, so he might create some foul problems for himself just because he's tired.
Good defensive play by the Cavaliers as JoJo White goes to the basket. And the Boston Celtics will bring the ball back inbound. The Celtics leading 2-0. The Boston Celtics have been in the Eastern Finals 19 in the last 21 seasons. The fifth. Knocked out to Jim Cleamons. Cavaliers running Bingo Smith, an outside shooter. Pulls up with Silas. Now to be one-on-one. Bobby Smith against Paul Silas. Too much on the shot. Rebound to Silas. He's the leading rebounder in this series. 17 rebounds a game through the first three games. JoJo White pulls up short. Can't get the shot. And the ball will come inbound to the Boston Celtics.
Don, Boston's going to try to get down quickly before Cleveland's defense gets set. Try to get the good opportunity shot. They've done this all through their outstanding years in Boston and continue to do the same.
JoJo White can't get the first shot, gets the ball tipped out to him. The Celtics are up 4-0. Don Munson, the Boston coach, said their poor shooting of his team in Game 3, which Cleveland won the other night, 83-78, was due greatly to the good defense of the Cavaliers. They didn't give us a good shot. Now down low with the ball and driving back. Coming up for the first shot is Jim Cleamons, backcourt player out of Ohio State. Very popular player here in Cleveland. And it's a 4-2 game. Ball is turned over, but Silas gets it again, looking for Havlicek, and John Havlicek is shut off. Now Scott goes to Havlicek, down low to JoJo White, blocked by Thurmond. Havlicek with a loose ball. Charlie Scott over the top, and followed up and in by the big red head.
Don, the thing that Boston has done so well in this playoff, they've really hit the board. Dave Cowens, Paul Silas, I think everyone in basketball knows what great rebounders they are. They've out-rebounded Cleveland about 8 rebounds a ball game. Cleveland's going to have to do a much better job on the board.
They have had a substantial rebounding advantage for Boston Celtics. They had 9 of them 15 seconds to play in the first quarter. It's a 6-2 game Boston. And all of them back inbound to the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavaliers breaking NBA playoff records every time they come into this arena. They have the record here, 21,694. Cleamons looking to go to the basket, shut off by Havlicek. Now out to Bingo Smith. For most players, that's a 4 percentage shot, but for Bobby Smith, that's where he likes it.
Boy, that's important for Bobby Smith to get off early. The first ball game in this series, he had a poor playoff. Charlie Scott just turns the ball over for Boston. But Bingo Smith is the man that can really ignite this ball club with his fine outside shooting and hopefully loosen it up on the inside so they can have some room to operate on the inside.
Turnover on Charlie Scott. He palmed the ball, so the ball is back inbound to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They trail 6-4, can tie up with a hoop here. Cleamons against Scott. Here is Snyder coming around the top. He likes to fire from the outside. Cleveland with a perimeter offense. And here is the outside shot by Snyder. Fights for the loose ball, and here comes Dave Cowens running the broadcast table. Back inside to Thurmond. That won't be the last time we'll have Cowens in our lap probably tonight.
We've had all his big guys over here, Don.
We've had them all. We had Burleson, the biggest guy in the league. Here is Dave Cowens looping it down low. Jim Cleamons with a 3-on-2 break. Cleamons going to take it to distance himself. Jim Cleamons feeds off to Nate Thurmond. Basket is disallowed. There's a whistle prior to the shot. And we'll have a foul on the Boston Celtics. We'll watch it again.
Okay, Dave Cowens is trying to feed inside. Deflected away by Bingo Smith. Jimmy Cleamons shows you what a good ball handler should do. Penetrates in, lays it off the last minute. They foul to Dave Cowens. Bobby Smith.
And now the Cavaliers tie the game up with that basket. It is a 6-6 tie. We have 8 minutes and 5 seconds to play in the first quarter. Fourth game of the NBA Eastern Finals. The NBA on CBS. Cowens over the top with that left-handed spin-off hook. And Boston goes in front by 2, 8-6.
You know, the beauty of Dave Cowens, he can make it outside and he can hammer it home inside. He is not basketball player.
He's none of those Celtics playing with an injury. Cowens has been troubled by back spasms, troubled by a foot injury. But as always, when they tip it off at the start of the game, he's in there for 40-plus minutes. Now the Cavaliers have to score again if Nate Thurmond gets his first point.
Don, Nate Thurmond is only shooting 38%. That's probably the shot they want him to take.
JoJo White took an extra step with the ball, so it comes inbound to the Cavaliers. Heinsohn protesting to official Jake O'Donnell. Boston pressuring the ball, making the Cavaliers use up some of that shot clock, getting it over the timeline. An 8-8 game. Down low, the shot going to go. Cleamons gets the shot. There's a foul on the play. The Cavaliers take the lead for the first time in the game.
Jimmy Cleamons, fine young guard for the Cavaliers, showing some of the individual moves. He just simply reverses around Scott. Scott bumps him with the body, and Cleamons with the strong shot into the basket. Has a chance to complete the three-point play. Bill Fitz said before the ball game that Jimmy Cleamons has now suddenly become more offensive conscious. He's a good shooter. He's helped the ball up a great deal.
Jim Cleamons converts the three-point play, and for the first time in the game, the Cleveland Cavaliers have the lead of 11-8. 7:14 to go in the first quarter. Havlicek for the Celtics, down low to Cowens. Thurman's defended well against him. Cleamons, the clean recheck. JoJo White gets the ball slapped out, and JoJo White knocks it home from 18 feet away. It's a one-point game, Cleveland. Jerry West.
Nate Thurmond, one of the great shot blockers we've had in the NBA. one of the really outstanding centers I've ever played against. Of course, the age has caught up to him a little bit, and also a lot of serious injuries, but he's still some great basketball player.
Well, he said he feels like a kid again, getting the starting opportunity. Forced into it by injury, right back the other way. Jim Brewer, the big guy out of Minnesota, hits it.
Don, that was great movement in the basketball. About 4 quick passes, and Brewer's wide open for the shot.
Jim Brewer gives the Cavaliers a 13-10 lead. Scott forces the shot. Snyder with the rebound up court to Jim Brewer. A two-hand slam dunk by big Jim Brewer, and it's now a 15-10 game. And the Cavaliers have got it ripping now after falling behind early in the game. They were down 6-2. Now they've come back, whipping up points off the break, and they have a 15-10 lead. Another stolen ball. Cleamons, the whip cracker, down the middle. Celtics have 3 men back. On the right flank, this is Snyder. And Meissen wants to time out. Timeout on the floor with 5:55 to go in the first quarter. The Cavaliers in the lead, 17-10.
When I played hockey, I really played hockey. They didn't call me Boom Boom for nothing. When I drink beer, I really drink beer. Light beer from Miller. It tastes great. And it's got 1/3 less calories than the regular beer. It's less filling, and I can't get filled up. I've got to move fast. When you play the way I did, you make a lot of enemies.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Hey, kids, come on over and try this one on.
In your shopping list of what you want in an economy car, be sure to include all these standard features. All 4 Datsun 710s have them. Plus, room for the kids and the performance of a race-bred engine. Check the competition. They don't come close. Datsun 710. No wonder Datsun cars and trucks are America's #1 selling import. Datsun saves. Test drive a 710 sedan, hardtop, or wagon with your family this week.
Tonight's NBA playoff game is sponsored by Datsun, America's #1 selling import for cars and trucks. Datsun saves. AMF. At AMF, we make weekends. And by Light Beer. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Back at the Coliseum in Richfield, Ohio, 21,500 plus with 5:55 left to go in the first quarter. Salute their Cleveland Cavaliers, as they have been ringing up points fast, forcing the normally staid, conservative, smooth ball handling Boston Celtics into numerous turnovers now, as Cleveland has moved out to a 17-10 lead. Jerry?
As you mentioned, Don, turnovers have been a key factor so far in this ball game. Cleveland defense has been very tough. Boston been guilty of some poor passes on the inside.
Len McDonald in the game now for the Celtics. Here's Thurmond with the defensive board up court to Jim Cleamons. Bobby Smith fires it up. Through! Man alive! Pulling up off the break, and Cowens almost had a piece of the ball, but Bingo Smith took his time and knocked it in.
Don, that's the kind of opportunity shots that Cleveland wants to get before this tough Celtic defense gets set. They've had some good ones so far.
Cowens moving in on Thurmond. Thurmond ready to go up. Here is JoJo White forcing a shot and hitting a line drive jump shot off the baseline of the floor. He was looking to go to Cowens. There was a double team on it, so he fired it in on the line.
JoJo White had a very good playoff, very consistent performance for Boston for a number of years.
Jim Brewer comes out high as they try to open it up underneath. Cleveland likes to run the ball to the outside more than most NBA teams. They've got the good perimeter shooters. Down low, they go to Thurmond now. And back to Dick Snyder. Fourth shot, a 4-1. Scott, the 6'6", comes in from the backcourt and sweeps down the defensive board. And here come the Celtics and Charlie Scott the length of the floor. Basket would have gone. There will be a shooting foul on the play against the Cavaliers with 4:40 to go in the first quarter. Jerry?
John Charlie Scott shows you his great leading ability by rebounding the ball. Little mistake in the defense and at great speed. As you can see, he drives in. Thurmond hits him with his body. 2 fouls in Thurmond. Cleveland just cannot afford to get him in foul trouble.
Nate Thurmond, that's the big factor. Nate Thurmond had foul problems the last game. Luke Whitty managed to hold up for a while, and the Cleveland Cavaliers won the game, and now Whitty's coming in. Big second-year player out of Ohio State, Luke Whitty.
He's a big favorite here in Cleveland.
Cleveland with phenomenal shooting here, Jerry, in the first quarter has hit 8 of 12, 67%. The Celtics are 5 of 12, 42%.
But Don, the big thing is they've had some good percentage shots. And when you get good percentage shots against a great defense like the Celtics, you know you're moving the ball pretty well.
It is now a 19 to 14 game. Cleveland is led by as many as 9. They were up 19 to 10. Jim Brewer on JoJo White, a switch off there in an overmatch. Brewer with a big height advantage. Now we have a foul on White. JoJo White comes out trying to force the ball. And JoJo White gets his second personal foul for Boston.
Don, when you go off the screen against the Boston Celtics, you better anticipate someone's going to switch, and that's exactly what they've done every time.
Heartburn Heinsohn, they call him here in Boston, in Cleveland, not in Boston. He got signed up. Somebody threw an egg just before the start of the game at Heinsohn, and it ended up hitting the Boston broadcast. Now 21 to 14 as Bing Jim Cleamons has now thrown in 7 points for the Cavaliers. He's high man in the game. Glenn McDonald looks to go to the basket on Dick Snyder. Not enough there. Luke Whitty takes it down. Clemens brings the ball up court. Cleveland leads the game by 7. Celtics lead the series 2 games to 1. Eastern Finals of the NBA. Snyder to the outside, down low to Luke Whitty, not looking to go to the basket against Howard. Smith coming off the pick. Great basketball by Cleveland.
Bobby Smith's on fire, and he hasn't made an easy shot yet.
He now has 8 points. He is the top scorer in the game, Bobby Smith. 6-year guard out of Tulsa. Down low, intercepted by Jim Brewer. 6'9", he leads the break. Up court to Snyder, pulling up for the shot. Look at this shooting. Absolutely extraordinary shooting. And the Celtics want a timeout. Cleveland ripping up an 11-point lead. Boston Celtics have turned the ball over 6 times, and Cleveland has opened up a 25 to 14 lead.
How AMF made the weekend. One day, Monday came to AMF for help.
Can you help me? I'm feeling very blue.
What's the matter?
Nobody likes me.
Why not?
Lousy, rotten day. Lousy, rotten I'm the first day of another work week. They're all grumpy and mad.
I tell you what. Let's put 2 days of recreation in front of you. We'll call it a weekend. We'll make them bikes to ride, and boats to sail, and balls to bounce and bowl, to recreate, exhilarate, let their other half live.
AMF. We make Ben Hogan golf equipment, Sunfish sailboats, Voight balls, Hatteras yachts. We make weekends. And since AMF has been making weekends, Monday's been a happier day.
Thank you.
Tonight on the CBS Late Movie, there's beautiful girls as far as the eye can see, and eagle-eyed Elvis doesn't miss a one. Romance is in the air with Elvis Presley in Girl Happy.
On Sunday at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, the very best in basketball continues on CBS. When the Boston Celtics go against these Cleveland Cavaliers, that will be Game 5 of this Eastern Final Series. Boston and Cleveland from Boston Garden, Sunday at 2, here on CBS. John Havlicek, the captain of the Celtics, trouble with that torn muscle in his foot, has gone to the locker room. And here is Glenn McDonald in for John Havlicek. Jerry, you had a similar injury to what Havlicek has, and I know John feels his injury is deteriorating.
Well, he told me before the ball game it's starting to bother him in another area on his foot, but it is a very painful injury, and it's remarkable that he can play at all.
They're looking to get the ball down low to Cowens again. Cleveland knocks the ball away. We're going to have a foul call.
You can see they're really trying to help Luke Whitty inside against Dave Cowens. They feel that Boston overmatches them there, and they're going to get a lot of fouls in there by trying to help.
The foul is on Bobby Smith, his first. Cowens down low against Luke Whitty, hooking the ball up on him. Here is a foul call, and the basket by Cowens will go. Dave Cowens using both hands. Normally he throws it up with the left hand. There is the wife of John Havlicek, Beth Havlicek, Obviously concerned seeing her husband. They're both natives of Ohio. Both went to Ohio State.
You know, on Dave Cowens' last move, he completes the three-point play, but on his last move, Luke Whitty should make him take that shot a couple times before fouling him. And then I think he'd be able to play him a lot better, but you can't let him go left. He's awfully tough going that way.
Yeah, he was really overplaying him that way, and you saw Cowens come right back and fired in off glass with his right hand. Here is Smith taking it down low. Out to Luke Whitty looking to go to the basket, and Cowens slaps it away. JoJo White leads the break for Boston. One-on-one, he pulls up against Snyder and gets the roll. And the Boston Celtics chipped right back into the game. They were down 25-14. They have put up the last 5 points. They're now down by 6. And there is the score out at Phoenix. Suns might stay alive in this thing.
Well, I tell you, we saw a great ball game out there Sunday, Don. And it would be hard for them to duplicate that. But they're a hungry ball club. It'll be tough for anyone.
One of those every week is more than they can handle. What a great game that was. This one isn't bad, I'll tell you that. Kim Cleamons fires in long, and it's a 27-19 game. Here at Cleveland, we have 1:47 left to go. In the first quarter, the Cavaliers forcing Boston into numerous turnovers, 7 turnovers, have a 27-19 lead. Cleveland is led by as many as 11 points, and here is Boston coming back now. As Charlie Scott steals the ball, fires out to JoJo White has been hot. And JoJo White puts up his 9th and 10th points of the game, and again, Cleveland comes back to within 6.
John, that play was called by Jim Brewer just over dribbling. He's a man 6 feet 9. You should get it to a guard and give it to him early. You see a lot of mistakes to be done, and he made a very careless mistake.
27-21, a steal by Paul Silas, the most valuable defensive player in the league. And now the Cavaliers lead moments ago, 11 points, is chopped right down to 4 as the Celtics, as they so often have done, come roaring right back. You never have this team out of the game. Let's watch Silas steal the basketball.
Well, here's a great veteran just making a smart play. He steps inside the passing lane. Not a good passing angle over there, and Silas steps in front of Dick Snyder, picks it up, and he lays it in. Great basketball player, this man.
Paul Silas, who came to the Boston Celtics in 1972. When the Phoenix Suns signed Charlie Scott, Boston had original NBA draft rights to him. And he's been part of 3 Eastern Championship teams at Boston. Paul Silas has 1 NBA championship team. Tomorrow at 5 o'clock Eastern Time, one of the great events in thoroughbred racing, presented by CBS Sports, the 101st running of the Preakness from Pimlico, featuring Kentucky Derby winner Bold Forbes, who turned in a spectacular workout. Earlier in the week, an honest pleasure, the colt that went to the post at Churchill Downs, favored to win the Derby, but was beaten wire to wire by Bold Forbes. That's the Preakness, tomorrow at 5 here on CBS.
Don, since Nate Thurmond's going out of lineup, you can see a lot of the Cavaliers' good play inside deteriorate a little bit. It's not really fair to Cleveland to have to come off with Luke Whitty, particularly since he hasn't played very much during the season, so it's tough for him. You can see, again, here's a very misleading statistic, and I've always felt it is. People talk about the bench scoring. Well, Cleveland's bench plays a lot more than Boston's bench, and Boston's regulars play a lot more, so they just don't have as many opportunities to score.
You see the bench scoring in the series so far. Field shooting tonight has really been phenomenal for Cleveland. The Cavaliers have put up 18 shots. They have hit 13, 72%, and they've hit their only free throw. Boston has now hit 50%, 10 of 20.
Well, Don, I can guarantee that pace won't continue because these teams are both fine defensive teams, and in the playoffs so far, Cleveland against Boston has shot about 44%. Boston shot only 42 against Cleveland.
There is big Jim Jones, the big 6'11" center out of Marquette, who has developed so well this year with the Cavaliers, but in a practice session during the Washington playoff series, he fractured the big toe in his right foot, and he's out for the rest of the way.
That's a big loss to this ball club. He had a super year for Cleveland. I think just now starting to get the kind of confidence he needs to play in this league.
Now Bill Fitch, the Cleveland coach, has gone to some of that high-power offense he has in his bench. Campy Russell, the second year out of Michigan, with the ball into the game. Silas against him. Russell, at 6'7", can play like a guard. A great scorer. He can hit from the outside, go to the basket. Cleamons, who directs the Cleveland Cavalier offense, matched against Charlie Scott. Shot clock winding down, 7 seconds. They go to Snyder, back to Cleamons, working off Campy Russell. Got to put something up. And the Celtics force a poor shot and get the basketball off the defensive board. Here comes JoJo White. Surveying the field, he's quick to the basket if there's an open lane. And JoJo White cocks that wrist, fires up again. This time he can't go. And Cleamons takes it down.
Don, one thing that you'll notice now, Boston is starting to make Cleveland run a lot of time off the clock now. And they're taking shots that maybe they don't want to take, but you have to credit the Boston defense.
Campy Russell with the ball. The Boston defense is tightening up now. Cleveland is not getting the good percentage shots they were earlier. And here come the Celtics now, the chance to get back to within 2. If they hit the field goal here. Charlie Scott looks to Cowens. Cowens waves him into the corner. Scott fires up an air ball. Outlet pass to Bingo Smith. Cleveland cannot get something off before the first quarter comes to an end. That is the end of the first quarter. With the score, the Cavaliers 27, the Boston Celtics 23.
Waiter, I was wondering about these little stuffed mush. When nobody hears you, that's the time to get a Cobra CB radio.
Breaker 19. This is the wild one. Come on.
Because with a Cobra, everybody hears you.
How you doing, wild one? All right.
I read you loud and clear, wild one.
When it comes to CB radio, punch through loud and clear with a Cobra.
Through the haze of all the clamor and claims of automotive superiority comes now a quiet whisper. A motor car which comes as close to speaking for itself as any ever built. The fuel-injected Datsun 280Z and 2+2. This is perfection.
The NBA playoffs on CBS will continue after this word from your local station. Be sure you're here for the glamour event of the season, the Miss USA Beauty Pageant, with guest Engelbert Humperdinck tomorrow night on CBS.
There is the captain of the Celtics, John Havlicek, returning from the Boston locker room where he was retaped that bad ankle by trainer Frankie Chilon. And so it is a 27-23 game, Cleveland in the lead, and with the ball here is Austin Carr in the game. And he loses the basketball to Dave Cowens. The Celtics turning the pressure up now. They're keeping that high pressure game at both ends of the floor. Kaversky is in the game for the Celtics. Silas doubling up on the ball of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Silas can't get the shot. He's got to go outside again. Kaversky to Charlie Scott. And Charlie Scott hands the ball at the top of the key to make it a 2-point game, 27-25.
Don, if John Havlicek is not able to play a lot in this ball game, Charlie Scott could be a very key member of their ball team. He could give them some good scoring inside, and he's very, very quick.
Campy Russell throwing up a very poor shot, but fortunately for the Cavaliers, Bingo Smith gets the rebound. And we have a foul call. Charlie Scott gets his second personal foul. The starting backline players for the Boston Celtics, Scott and White, each with 2 personal fouls. Taken getting set to come in the game now for Boston. It is 27-25. Cleveland in the lead. They led by 11, 25-14. Late in the first quarter. Then the Celtics came running back right into the crease. Bring it back to it in 2. Bingo Smith shoots and gets a much-needed basket for the Cavaliers.
Don, Boston has completely shut off Cleveland's driving game now, and Cleveland's going to have to kind of pick up the tempo again with some good rebounding and some good running. They had good success and good shot selection when they rebounded well.
Don Nelson still on the bench as Kaversky is in the game, and now JoJo White gets the open shot from the corner, which he pumps right down. And that's how it looked in the second quarter as Golden State down by 8. The last time we saw that score has come back to it in 2. Golden State can end it in Phoenix tonight. Austin Carr with a little too much on his shot, and 3 Celtics around the defensive board to take down the ball. Kaversky got it. JoJo White looks for a man coming around the top of Charlie Scott. Austin Carr switching off on him. The Celtics can tie the game with a basket here as Kaversky goes to the basket. Here is a whistle. 3-second violation. Stakem is in the game. Evan Stakem in the game for Charlie Scott.
But the one thing that Boston will lose a little bit with Kevin Stakem, they'll lose a little quickness, but he's a very smart basketball player. He's starting to play the way Tommy Heinsohn wants him to play, and they're very happy with him.
And it certainly toned this crowd down. It was just bedlam in here, but now the Boston Celtics rallying back to within 2 have quieted the 21,500 here at Richfield, Ohio. It's a 2-point game, Cleveland.
How do people react to the shower massage by Waterpick?
Just like a vibrator.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, la, la.
I feel 10 years younger.
Kind of vibrating my muscles like a massage.
It's invigorating.
Boy, it's exhilarating.
If the inventor is single, I'd like to meet him.
There's only one shower massage, and it's made by Waterpick.
Can I stay in here a little longer?
I definitely recommend a Datsun from the experience that I've had. Well, when I originally bought the pickup, I thought I'd be able to put about 50,000 miles on it, and then I was figuring on trading it off. But it's got 118,000 miles on it now. It's been absolutely the most durable vehicle I've ever owned, and I'll definitely buy another one if it ever wear out.
2 tough Datsun pickups, 7-foot stretch and 6-foot standard. No wonder Datsun's America's #1 selling small pickup. Datsun saves.
Skill and desire. That's the name of the game in the NBA. And at Goodwill Industries, people with the desire to learn are taught the skills they need by professionals. Supported by the United Way, Goodwill Industries works all year round, building confidence, teaching skills, giving people a chance to make it on their own. I'm Pete Maravich, reminding you that thanks to you, it works for all of us, the United Way.
The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service on behalf of the National Basketball Association. John Havlicek, the captain of the Celtics, we're told Jerry West might not be back in this game.
Well, they feel that he's aggravated his foot again, and they don't know to what extent, but he would have trouble cutting, they feel, and he may not play anymore in this ball game.
Austin Carr gets the ball down to the big guy, Thurmond, who's back in the game. Out to Austin Carr, and now it's whoa! Give that Boston Celtics got that one.
I tell you what great rebounders they are. One of the Celtics tapped it in.
Campy Russell was the closest guy to it. He didn't even leave the ground, but he'll get credit for the basket. They got to give it to somebody on the offensive team. And a big hoop it was. It's a 31-27 game now, and as Paul Silas dances back and forth and tries to go to the basket, he draws the foul. Campy Russell fouled him. Watch that tap in again.
There's no Cleveland man in sight. Paul Silas actually tapped the ball in. Boston's going to try to put Silas in deep and work on Campy Russell. He's a lot stronger. He is inside. Very quick player. I'm sure they'll try to use it.
Cowens put too much on it, but tapped it right back up and in.
Boy, they have great offensive rebounding. They've hurt Cleveland very badly in this playoff with their rebounding.
A 2-point game as Campy Russell goes to the basket and draws a foul on Dave Cowens, his second. So Cowens has 2, JoJo White has 2, and Charlie Scott has 2. As Jim Brewer comes back in the game for the Cavaliers.
John Havlicek may be not playing anymore this ball game. Boston really can't afford to have any of their regulars and people who play a lot of minutes out of that lineup. They're going to need everyone against this Cleveland ball club.
Don Nelson getting set to come in. Campy Russell fading back and putting up a, oh, look at that.
Don, I don't care who you are. That's a great move. He takes a quick step to the basket and fades away about 5 feet. You just can't reach him on the shot.
And he came down the floor, protesting Jake O'Donnell with Silas's hand guarding him. JoJo White, who's got 12 points, can't get this one. Thurmond takes it down, but throws it away. Bingo Smith picks it up. Austin Carr gets the basketball and takes it right in, and here's a foul on the play. And it goes against Austin Carr.
Here's that wild scramble for the ball. As you can see, Austin Carr with great hustle. Reaches in there, picks the ball up. Gets a little too excited. There you can see he jumps right into Kevin Stakem. Good call to Joe Cushew.
And a good play by Austin Carr prior to it. Here's where you see who wants to play when the loose balls are out there.
That's the sign of a great team. The people who pick up those loose balls, things that you never notice in the box score, but the things that really win ball games.
Kevin Stakem picks up a shot. Nelson with the offensive rebound takes it right back outside. Charlie Scott goes to the basket. Basket is disallowed. Charging on Charlie Scott. His third personal foul.
Boy, Charlie Scott and Tommy Hines really don't like that call. That's the third foul on Scott.
Austin Carr brings the ball up court. Taken right on him. It is a 33-29 game. The Cavaliers are in the lead. 8:05 to go in the first half. Jim Cleamons is blocked. Rejected clean by Scott. Scott comes down to the other end to make the big defensive play for Boston. Technical foul on Heinsohn. Al Heinsohn draws the technical foul. And Heinsohn is going after Jim Cleamons, and here's a fight. Heinsohn's going after Jim Cleamons. They've been after each other this whole series. Cleamons and Heinsohn going back and forth.
I tell you, that's an awful big man there for Jimmy Cleamons to jump on. Jimmy Cleamons thought it funny. He gave a big smile. You don't think the emotions are running high here. You can see the people in the stands, the players themselves. It's incredible.
Red Auerbach looking on. He's seen it all before.
Red Auerbach always contended, I feel, that sometimes it's good to get a technical foul on the road.
Heinsohn is absolutely incensed. The man is ashen-faced. Jim Cleamons and Heinsohn have been going back and forth with remarks to each other throughout the series. Cleamons said something to Heinsohn, and Heinsohn took off after him, was intercepted by his assistant coach, John Killalate. It is now a 34-29 game after the technical foul. Jacob has the ball. Is inside to Steve Kaversky, outside to Dave Cowens. In and out. Rebound down to Jim Brewer at 6'9". He's going to run. Up court to Austin Carr. Feeds off to Thurmond and a foul. Nate Thurmond was walking on the play, and the ball turns over to the Celtics.
Dave Cowens made a great defensive play, as he will so many times during this series.
Here at Cleveland, we have fireworks galore. The Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's now 34-29 Cleveland. A fight almost erupted as Charlie Scott bombs it from the outside for Boston. Tom Heinsohn, the Boston coach, went after backcourt player Jim Cleamons of the Cavaliers after a technical foul was called against Heinsohn. The Cavaliers have led by as many as 11 points. They were up 25-14, but the Celtics have rallied back with great defense. Now Kempy Russell fires from the outside. He's been taking 4% of shots. And the Boston Celtics can come back to within one with a hoop here. 7 minutes to go in the first half as Charlie Scott takes it low. He has 3 fouls and almost a technical. Been a very furious pace to this game. The Cavaliers shot 72% through the first quarter. Now we have a timeout signal for with 6:59 to go in the first half. And the Cavaliers leading 34-31.
You know, we've had a few disagreements over the years, but there's one thing we do agree on, and that's light beer from Miller. Light is 1/3 less calories than their regular beer.
But the best part is that it tastes so great.
The best part is it's less filling.
Nah, it tastes great.
Less filling.
Tastes great.
Less filling. Less filling. You know even less about beer than basketball.
That's it, Heinsohn. You're out of the bar.
Whoa.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Do you ever wonder what those drip marks mean? Here's how to find out.
When the engine is cold, spread paper under your car to catch new drips.
Clean air conditioner condensation is okay, but reddish transmission fluid, black or gray motor oil, or engine coolant here could mean trouble. You'll find more answers about how to spot trouble in the early warning book, free from your participating Shell dealer. Come to Shell for answers.
Tonight on the CBS Late Movie, there's beautiful girls as far as the eye can see, and eagle-eyed Elvis doesn't miss a one. Romance is in the air with Elvis Presley in Girl Happy.
With Jerry West, this is Don Crickey back at Richfield, Ohio. Here is Tom Heinsohn sending in JoJo White. The Celtics will be going with JoJo White in the backcourt, along with Stakem. I don't know if he's going to bring Stakem or Scott out of the game. Scott to the free throw line.
Ron, I think Charlie Scott hurt himself a little bit. He's been bothered by a leg injury, and looked like to me when he went back over the bench, he was limping a little bit. Maybe he aggravated his injury a little bit. They're going to take him out and rest him some.
Charlie Scott will get the second free throw to make it now 34-32.
Charlie Scott's been very quiet as far as scoring in this playoff, and tonight he's responded with 10 points so far in the first half.
He's got 10, and it's a one-point game. The Cavaliers up by one. Campy Russell, who tends to put the ball on the floor a little too much sometimes, tries to dance in. Now they go to Thurmond out high. Cowens working hard to stay with him. Here is Cleamons on the outside. And a switch off Don Nelson has him. Austin Carr down the lane. Basket goes. There's a foul on the play. Austin Carr, the former Notre Dame All-American, and the number one draft choice in the NBA back in 71, does his number.
If you notice this, there's a little head-shoulder fake, and he cuts right inside the defense. It's a good shot, and he was fouled on the play.
Four-pointer.
That's not a three-point play, that's a four-point play.
And all of a sudden, the Cavaliers have a 5-point lead. It is 38-33 with 6.5 minutes to go in the first half. Cowens down low to JoJo White. He missed it all, but Nelson gets the ball. And a foul goes on the Cleveland Cavaliers. And Don Nelson will shoot for the Celtics.
You know, here's a smart old veteran basketball player. White takes a shot. He misses everything. Donnie Nelson looks at good head and shoulder fake. He's fouled by Campy Russell underneath. Campy Russell sometimes loses sight of his man under there. He's going to have to learn to block his men off a little sooner. Heinsohn looks like a mess already.
Well, he quit smoking. He was up to 4 packs a day. He went to a hypnotist. The hypnotist implanted in his mind that every time he took a cigarette, it was like taking a slug of an iodine bottle. Says he has no desire to smoke, but he has gained 35 pounds.
Hey, he's really been a fine coach for the Boston Celtics.
And he's drinking so much coffee, he's got stomach problems. He says he doesn't know where he was better off. Here come the Celtics. Lead pass to Stakem from Kavirsky. 3 men back on defense for the Cavaliers as Nelson shoots for Boston. And Don Nelson drives one down to make it 38-37 again. The Cleveland lead is cut to 1.
Don, that fast break by the Celtics was caused by a poor shot to Campy Russell. No one was in good position to get back, and Boston came down and made the wide open shot to Donnie Nelson.
Brewer goes out high to Thurmond. Thurmond hasn't done much with the basketball. He's not looking to score. He got 2 points. Cowens again with the defensive board. Here come the Celtics running. 3 men switch from offense to defense for the Cavaliers to shut off the break. Now Cowens looks to take it through. Cowens goes down hard, lost his footing. There's no foul. He slipped. JoJo White takes it down low, whips it out to Kavirsky. And now Thurmond and Cowens start to go at it, and the foul is called on Cowens. And I think the Celtics have something worthy of protest there.
Okay, you can see the first defender shot from outside. Very rough under there. It's hard to tell what happened.
Well, Thurmond was coming out to block out Cowens. There's no question about that. There was a collision. Who initiated it? Debatable, but Cowens got his 3rd personal foul. Butch Walker is in the game now. A little backcourt player out of West Georgia.
Don, I'll guarantee the reason Bill Fitz has him in there is to try to get some penetration to the basket. Since Jimmy Cleamons going out of the ball game, they haven't had good penetration in there. This guy's quick, he's clever, and Celtics are in the penalty. He's going to go to the free throw line for 2 shots.
Butch Walker, he ignites this team with his running game. Very quick player. Penalty shot coming up. It is a 1-point game with 5 minutes and 16 seconds to play in the first half. Richfield, Ohio, over 21,500 here. And every one of them making noise and backing this Cleveland Cavaliers team. JoJo White comes up court. Loose press put against him by Austin Carr. Cowens is out high. Down low is Nelson. Down low is Silas, who's back in the game. Nelson misses it, and Nate Thurmond takes it down. Now watch Walker go. He'll rip right through you unless you cut him off. Out in the corner to Campy Russell. Campy Russell does not get the roll, and Don Nelson takes the ball down. Here's a foul call on Russell. Nelson went down hard.
You can see Don Nelson just simply is bumped by Campy Russell, and they'll lose his footing. And looked like it was a lot worse fall than it was, but again, Don Nelson, a very smart basketball player, actually drawing that foul.
Don Nelson, the veteran out of Iowa, who says he'll be back one way or the other next year, either as an official or maybe even a player. They retired him once in Boston, but he's played so well since then. He's got everybody thinking differently.
You know, during the regular season, Don didn't play as much as he had the previous year. Of course, been a great sixth man coming off the Boston bench. And they kind of rediscovered him during the playoffs. They found he could still play and still play very well.
The greatest $100 spent in the NBA, the Boston Celtics got him on waivers from Los Angeles Lakers for $100.
Don, don't keep reminding me.
He was with you 1 year. Didn't have that good a year after being the Big Ten scoring leader at Iowa as a senior in college. Bingo Smith back in the game. Smith Walker comes down low, loses the ball, but Silas cannot hold on. And with 4:39 left to go in the first half, the Cavaliers will put the ball in play with the game tied at 39. Austin Carr fires. And again, the Celtics dominate the board. Cowens ripping him down off the defensive board. Cowens failing to play now. Comes out high. Here is Staken looking inside. Middle shut off. He shoots over the much shorter Push Walker. And Kevin Staken gives the Boston Celtics the lead. 41-39.
A great point to the Boston Celtics. Got behind early in the ball game. Never panicked. Here they are back in a familiar position for them.
They would take command of this series. They brought 3 games to 1 with a win here. Will be back on the home floor Sunday for Game 5. Bingo Smith puts up a shot. Boy, Cleveland's got some hit shooters that can rifle it. 12 points for Smith.
Don, Boston's defense has really done a good job of taking Cleveland out of their offense real well.
Brewer went to the moon to get that defensive board. Walker takes it down. Fires out to Austin Carr. Blocked by Cowens. Taps it out to JoJo White. And 3 men are back for Cleveland. White almost lost the ball, and now JoJo White pulls up and hits another line drive jump shot. He has 14 points in the Celtics, again lead by 2.
JoJo White always very quietly does his job out there in basketball court. A fine basketball player for a number of years for the Celtics.
Nate Thurmond on the outside. Dave Cowens against him. Here's a pass to Walker down low to Bingo Smith coming around the top against Silas. That goes anything well. Man alive. I've seen everything.
Don, the Celtics are playing great defense now. Doesn't look like it. But they're just, Cleveland just simply shooting the eyes out of the basket.
Cowens goes in and draws the foul. He was hit by Bingo Smith. So Dave Cowens will shoot 2. Let's watch Dave Cowens on defense.
Here's what starts a fast break. Notice the 5 Celtics around the ball. Poor position for Cleveland. Here again is another try to steal, and there's what happens when you try to steal and you don't.
Bingo Smith has 14 for the Cavaliers. JoJo White has 14 for the Celtics. Dave Cowens now has 10 for Boston. And the Celtics go in front 44-43. The Cavaliers in the penalty now, both teams in the penalty with 3:01 to go in the first half. At the end of the first quarter, the Cavaliers held a 27-23 lead, led by 11 points early in the second quarter, 35-24. And now the Celtics have come back. They lead the game, 45-43. Butch Walker pressured by Kevin Staken as Thurmond stays back to give him a tip to move the ball up court. Austin Carr off a pick set by Brewer, spinning inside. The word to Carr from the benches, go to the hoop, but he turns the ball over.
Don, Cleveland are making an awful lot of mistakes with their offense right now, but you've got to give the Celtic defense a great deal of credit.
Austin Carr gets his 3rd personal foul here. And the ball turns back over to the Boston Celtics.
I really find my Dawson extremely durable. I drive it everywhere. I literally live in the car to a degree.
and 247,000 miles on that Datsun, and it just keeps going and going and going and refuses to quit going. That's a durable car.
They're put together to stay together for Datsun savings that just won't quit. All three Datsun B210s deliver 41 miles per gallon highway, 29 city. Datsun saves.
Sorry, we never got your reservation. Surprise!
You get enough surprises when you travel. That's why Holiday Inn thinks the best surprise is no surprise. You know you'll get a reservation you can count on and a big, comfortable room at a comfortable price. There are 152 special standards for rooms, reservations, restaurants that let you know at every Holiday Inn the best surprise is no surprise.
Tomorrow at 4 and Sunday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports presents the $200,000 Colonial National Invitation from Fort Worth, Texas, where Lee Trevino, Tom Weisskopf, and many other top stars will be shooting for the $40,000 first prize. That's tomorrow at 4, Sunday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern.
There is Austin Carr, who's gone to the Cavaliers bench after picking up his third personal foul.
You can see a very obvious charge. Good position by Donnie Nelson. But I think what's happening, and you can see it happening almost every time with Cleveland's offense, they have a perimeter offense now. They need some diagonal cutting to try to free some men inside. They just haven't had that for a while.
You were talking, Jerry, about how Cleveland's shooting percentage had to come down. It has. They're still hitting 54%, but way down from that early 72. They're 13 of 18. They have now hit 20 of 37. The Celtics are 17 of 37, 46%. Boston has 11 of 12 free throws. Cleveland has only 3 free throws.
Inside, Donnie Nelson was just called for an offensive foul. He's trying to establish position against a smaller player in there. And Boston, being a very smart team, they're going to try to take advantage of any overmatch that they might have in this ball game.
In case your local television listeners had another game scheduled for tonight, we apologize for that, but due to the regionalization of this game, to bring the best basketball to various areas of the country where the greatest interest is, this decision made at the last minute by CBS. Here is a tip-up by Nate Thurmond. Outlet to Cowens. Up court it goes to JoJo White. Celtics by 2. Cowens again trails the play. Down low to Silas. Working inside, and Silas goes up with a reverse right hand.
Don, he is so quick and clever inside. Once he gets a step in there, there's not much you can do with it.
All ball out of Creighton. Paul Silas, one of the best defensive player in the NBA this season. 3 Celtics made the All-NBA defensive team. What in the world? Nate Thurmond pulls out something from his bag of tricks. Take him down low. Thurmond tips it away. Cowens goes up, tips it back up for a second time. Twice he's done that in this game.
Yeah, that was not Nate Thurmond's fault, though. He picked up another man on the inside and got back to Cowens late. He needs some help on the weak side on that last play.
A minute and a half to go now in the first half here at Richfield, Ohio. The Cavaliers, after leading by 11, are now down by 4. Thurmond spinning off, looking to go to the basket again. Nate Thurmond drills it down. He now has 6. He's looking to get Cowens to foul him, and he's putting the ball up. Cowens goes to Stakem. Walker against him, giving away 4 inches. Stakem shoots over it. Cleamons takes it down. Lead to Bingo Smith. Out to Snyder. Dick Snyder, nicely done. Game is tied at 49.
Don, if you notice, every time the Cleveland's able to get the ball down quickly, they get a very good percentage of it. But again, they have to play much better defense down here on this other end to keep Boston from being in good position all the time.
Down low they go to Nelson, and here is a foul call against Bingo Smith. This has been a tremendous basketball game. Both ends of the floor. They're playing it tough on defense, and they're looking to run on offense. It's going back and forth, and now it is tied at 49 with 37 seconds left to go in the first half. Don Nelson going back to the free throw line for Boston.
That's what we're talking about. Don Nelson matched against Bingo Smith. Of course, he's a lot bigger, and Boston's trying to post Nelson inside, and that time it worked for them. Nelson's going to have a chance to make a couple of free throws.
One of the best shooters in the NBA from the free throw line and the field. He was the best shooter in the NBA percentage-wise last year, shot almost 54%.
And I'll tell you why. He never takes a bad shot.
He also gets out there early to start shooting. I think he's one of the first guys out there.
Don, the older you get, the earlier you have to get out here to get warmed up.
That's the truth, isn't it?
You better believe it is.
John Lambert is now in the game. A big second-year man out of USC. Here is JoJo White ahead of Nate Thurmond. Basket doesn't go. No foul call on Silas. He hooked Nate Thurmond, kept him off the play. Here's a foul on Silas.
They should have called it the first time.
They'll watch it again.
There's a miss by JoJo White. As you can see, Paul Silas was all over Nate Thurmond's back. And he comes right back again. There he is again. The official finally sees him.
I tell you, when Silas hits you, you know it. He's a powerful man. 51-49. The Celtics are in the lead with 18 seconds to play in the first half. Nate Thurmond goes to the free throw line. Penalty shot. He's still got another crack at it.
As you can see, Don, he did not play a whole lot during the regular season. Just here to back up Jim Jones, who's now out with an injury, but also give them the intelligence that they need. Nate's not a good free throw shooter.
That we just saw documented.
It's very evident.
Paul Silas just got his first rebound a little bit ago. The first rebound from Silas in the game. He's averaging 17 this series. That was blocked by Thurmond. Beats Walker at the buzzer, and the first half comes to an end with the Boston Celtics in the lead, 51-49.
Tonight's NBA playoff game is sponsored by Datsun, America's #1 selling import for cars and trucks. Datsun saves. And by Mobil One, a new synthesized engine lubricant, the oil that saves you gas. Vitalis, makers of new Vitalis Superhold, a non-aerosol men's hairspray.
Aerosol, not an economical way to apply deodorant. In fact, you'd use up this 4-ounce can of the leading aerosol, buy another, use it up, buy a third, use it up, before you'd use up 1 2.5-ounce Speed Stick. Men and Speed Stick is solid deodorant. An even, effective layer of protection you apply directly. Nothing's wasted. That's why 1 million more Americans took our advice last year. They got off the can. They got on the stick.
State Farm agent Jerry Black talks about life insurance.
Money's important. It's important to me like it is to everyone else. However, there's a great deal of satisfaction derived from being a State Farm agent that has nothing to do with money. It has to do with helping your fellow person, helping a family, developing a life insurance plan which will satisfy their needs not only today, but 30 years from now.
Red Auerbach on Round Ball. Red Auerbach on Round Ball is sponsored by Consolidated Cigar Corporation, makers of Dutch Masters cigars.
In the Caribbean, where we blend Dutch Master cigars, our master blender, Augusto Santiago, meets the tobacco person. Before he accepts, he tastes it 3 times. First with his nose, then with his touch. Then he wraps a leaf around his cigar and tastes it with his taste. Now you know why a Dutch master like our president is worth more. There really are masters at Dutch Masters.
Beautiful job. Now that brings out a point that is bugging me. These defensive men are picking up fouls, which is totally unfair. Now, first, before we go into this, I want to introduce these fellows out there demonstrating. Paul Silas of the Boston Celtics, Elvin Hayes of the Washington Bullets on offense, along with Paul, Wesley Unseld, also from the Washington Bullets, Mike Reardon, Also from the Bullets on offense, and Clem Haskins playing the defense. Now, do that again. Go ahead. All right. Did Wes Unseld hit that man hard enough to knock him down? What went through your mind, Mike? What was your purpose in making that pick?
Initially, I was trying to free my teammate, Elvin Hayes, here for a jump shot or a move to the hoop without the ball. Also, if I could get away with it, to draw a foul on Wes in setting that pick, to fake a foul, in other words. That was the second purpose.
Well, that's the point. Actually, he didn't hit you that hard where you had to fall down.
No.
No, that's the point. Now, in order to clarify this, I brought in one of the great officials of all time, the ex-dean of the NBA officials, Mendy Rudolph. Come here, Mendy. I want to get your opinion. Explain to Mike, what's the attitude of the officials on this thing?
Well, the first thing, Mike and Red and everybody else, is the distance of the screen. Wes, if you turn around, when you set a blind screen, you got to give this man here at least one step. Now, Mike did that. But on the other hand, as soon as contact came, Mike went and did some Hollywood acting. And the best thing the officials can do in this case, Red, is to ignore the play and don't even call it.
Now, remember, coaches today in high school, college, and pro are teaching the players how to fall. This is unreal. They're teaching them how to fall. They teach the defense how to fall. In this case, he's on the offense. They're teaching him how to fall. All right, here's another example. Come on, Mike. Show him what I want to do. Now, watch Mike dribble. Elvin Hayes going to set a pick. He changes his mind. He starts to drive. Now, what happened? Wesley Unseld, also from the Washington Bullets. Mike Reardon, also from the Bullets, on offense, and Clem Haskins playing the defense. Now, do that again. Go ahead. All right. Did Wes Unseld hit that man hard enough to knock him down? What went through your mind, Mike? What was your purpose in making that pick?
Initially, I was trying to free my teammate, Elvin Hayes, here for a jump shot or a move to the hoop without the ball. Also, if I could get away with it, to draw a foul on Wes in setting that pick, to fake a foul, in other words. That was the second purpose.
Well, that's the point. Actually, he didn't hit you that hard where you had to fall down.
No.
No, that's the point. Now, in order to clarify this, I brought in one of the great officials of all time, the ex-dean of the NBA officials, Mendy Rudolph. Come here, Mendy. I want to get your opinion. Explain to Mike, what's the attitude of the officials on this thing?
Well, the first thing, Mike and Red and everybody else, is the distance of the screen. Wes, if you turn around, when you set a blind screen, you got to give this man here at least one step. Now, Mike did that. But on the other hand, as soon as contact came, Mike went and did some Hollywood acting. And the best thing the officials can do in this case, Red, is to ignore the play and don't even call it.
Now, remember, coaches today in high school, college, and pro are teaching the players how to fall. This is unreal. They're teaching them how to fall. They teach the defense how to fall. In this case, he's on the offense. They're teaching him how to fall. All right, here's another example. Come on, Mike. Show him what I want to do. Now, watch Mike dribble. Elvin Hayes going to set a pick. He changes his mind. He starts to drive. Now, what happened? Did he go into Clem Haskins, or did Clem Haskins block him? Mendy, what's your opinion? What happened?
Here again, it was a great acting job by Clem Haskins. Now, the contact between Mike and Clem was totally incidental, Red. And again, the officials on this play should ignore it totally to eliminate this kind of acting in our game. If they're smart again to stop it early in the ball game, call the blocking foul on this man right here. And he'll stop falling on the floor and picking up splinters on his backside.
Well, I happen to agree with you. I mean, I'm very, very much opposed to this type of basketball. All right, let's go into another one. Mike, take the ball. Clem, you're guarding Mike. Elvin is in deep. Mike is going to drive by Clem Haskins. Now watch Wes Unseld. This is very important. Watch this. Go ahead. All right. Now, on a play like that, Wes Unseld stood there and took the block. Now, Mendy, you saw that. How do you feel about that play?
Again, it depends Where Mike is, and on that particular play, when the West Unseld set up the block, Mike had left his feet, and on that particular play, this is an illegal block by West Unseld, and the foul should be called against West, giving Mike probably a three-point play.
Why?
We've got to stop this sort of play in the NBA.
Exactly.
You can ignore this foul if you care to, but certainly don't call the offensive foul.
This segment is not aimed at referees, believe me. It's aimed at coaches. It's aimed at players. What are we going to do about it? Let's clean this thing up. Let's not hurt the game.
Ross Billings of Dutch Master Cigars is in charge of curing the world's most expensive-to-grow wrapper tobacco. Instruments in the dark curing sheds can tell him a lot. But only his master's nose can tell the moment great tobacco says it is ready to be a Dutch Master cigar.
That's beautiful.
Now you know why a Dutch Masters like our president taste so good. They really are masters at Dutch Masters.
Red Auerbach on Round Ball has been sponsored by Consolidated Cigar Corporation, makers of Dutch Masters cigars. There really are masters at Dutch Masters.
At Richfield, Ohio, the Boston Celtics, from 11 points down in the second quarter, have come back to take a 51-49 halftime lead. I'm Don Cricky with Jerry West. Jerry, we've seen one of those guys you went against for so many years, Nate Thurmond, looking pretty good here tonight for Cleveland. He's keeping them in the game.
Nate Thurmond played a fine ball game for him. As I say, he hasn't played a lot this season. It's remarkable that he would be in good shape. And he's also made some key buckets for him. I think he's blocked about 4 shots in the first half. So he's made their defense tough inside. But, again, there's a long way to go in this second half of this ball game. Hopefully Nate Thurmond won't get tired. If he does, Cleveland's going to suffer a little bit.
And the Celtics have continuing injury problems. Their captain, John Havlicek, left the game in the first quarter, is probably out the rest of the night.
The NBA playoffs on CBS will continue after this word from your local station. The great Jimmy Durante and top recording star Gilbert O'Sullivan visit the Sonny and Cher show Sunday night on CBS.
It hasn't taken Phil Smith of the Golden State Warriors very long to make his mark in the NBA. An impressive rookie season earned Smith a starting job in the Warriors' backcourt this year, and he went on to be voted to the Players All-Pro team. Phyllis George has the story of the local boy who made good.
This is the Fillmore section of San Francisco. Phil Smith, second-year guard for the Golden State Warriors, grew up here. In fact, in this day of high-pressure college recruiting and a common pro draft, Phil Smith is somewhat of an oddity, having played most of his basketball within a 20-mile radius of his home, first at the University of San Francisco and now with the Warriors.
Field goal!
When he's not on the road, you can often find Fillmore Phil back at his old stomping grounds playing in a pickup game.
I enjoy the playgrounds. Like, my roots are here. If I don't come down to play, I come to watch. If I'm feeling really good, I'll come out and play. Just, getting to see the kids out here play, it sort of reminds me of the days of old when I was, a youngster and came down to the playgrounds to play. It's, just a unique thing.
Good. Larry goes back up. Strong rebound.
I never really thought that I'd be an NBA star. There's just a hairline between the guys that make it and don't make it. And I think the guys who do make it are just exceptionally lucky, and they have just a little bit more determination than the guys that don't make it. And I think that's the only thing that separated me from the guys on the playground.
Phil has plenty of support as he progressed from the playgrounds to the pros. He has 8 brothers and sisters, but the head cheerleader is Papa Ben Smith.
I'm very lucky because, a lot of parents would like to see their son play every day, what have you, but everybody is not that fortunate, because I say it's almost like 1,000,000 to 1 shot. Here you grow up and go all the way through school, and you're drafted by the home team, and it's seldom ever happened. I'm very thankful and happy, and I thank God for all of his blessings.
I really get excited out there. Sometimes I get tight out there, too. But it's like, playing in front of your friends and people that know you really well. And, I really get off behind that. It's just a super feeling.
An NBA championship or being selected to the Players All-Pro team hasn't changed Phil Smith a bit. For Rolls Royces, expensive clothes, flashy pads don't mean a thing. For Fillmore Phil is just happy playing the game he loves in the town he loves, whether it be a pickup game or pro ball. This is Phyllis George for CBS Sports in San Francisco.
Here at Richfield, Ohio, it's 51-49. The Boston Celtics in the lead. Out in Phoenix, the Suns need a victory tonight to stay alive, and they're just holding on over the Golden State Warriors. At the half, that's 57-54. That's Phoenix leading Golden State 57-54 at the half. And we're now told that's incorrect, the information we've been given. It is 57-54. Golden State is in the lead. So the defending champions can put it away tonight.
Well, again, Golden State, they finished Detroit off in 6 games. Looked like they were well on their way maybe to handling Phoenix. But we've got a great ball game here, Don, and I look for a very same kind of second half we had the first half.
What about now the second half, Jerry? You got tremendous tempo to this game. Everybody's got to use a lot of players. Somebody's got to wear down pretty soon. There's going to be more mistakes, I think.
Well, if you look at the age of the ball club, you certainly have to say, well, Cleveland's got an advantage. But Boston has been in this playoff before. They know how to conserve themselves. They don't make mistakes. And I felt maybe the thing that hurt Cleveland most in the first half was their inexperience. They made an awful lot of very careless mistakes and also shooting mistakes.
We got a big golf tournament going down at Fort Worth, Texas right now. Lee Trevino had a spectacular round today. He tied the course record, had a 29 on 1-9, and came in with a 64 for the day. Lee Trevino is now leading the Colonial National by 1 stroke over Miller Barber. And Dave Stockton and Don January are right in the running, and you'll see live coverage of the Colonial National from Fort Worth, Texas, beginning at 4 o'clock Eastern Time tomorrow on CBS. And tomorrow, CBS will also bring you the 101st running of the Preakness from Pimlico, with coverage starting at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Jack Whitaker is in Baltimore with a preview of this year's race.
Things are rather peaceful and serene back here at the stable area in Pimlico, where the 6 contestants for tomorrow's Preakness are resting. And tomorrow we should learn one of 3 things. A, will Bull Forbes be successful in his quest to become a Triple Crown winner by winning the 2nd race in the series? B, will Honest Pleasure regain his prominence as the leading 3-year-old of 1976 by avenging his defeat to Bull Forbes in the Kentucky Derby? Or C, will one of the other 4 contestants come in to take all the prize tomorrow after those 2 horses have burnt themselves out in the early part of the race? Now, unless that's abundantly clear to you, let me interject another condition, the weather. The Baltimore weatherman fully expects showers and thunder showers tomorrow, and should the track come up in an off condition, anything could happen.
The difference between these oil filters and this Motorcraft filter from Ford is just pennies. But look at what you get. Instead of just a paper filter, Motorcraft gives you both nylon and cotton. In tests against these filters, Motorcraft trapped more than twice the dirt. Don't let a few pennies keep you from getting the oil filter that tested best. Ask for Motorcraft oil filters, batteries, shock absorbers, and tune-up parts. Motorcraft from Ford. They're tested tough.
We're going on vacation. It isn't going to cost my dad lots of money. I think he knows somebody big at United Airlines. I heard him say he gets half off for me. Mom and him get money off, too. He must know the president of United.
Wow.
Freedom Fair seats are limited. Save 15 and 50%. You don't even have to know anybody.
Maybe he knows a pilot.
United Airlines.
If you couldn't register to vote last time around, do it this time around. If you couldn't register to vote last time around, do it this time around.
Brought to you by the National Basketball Association as a public service.
There is the leaderboard after the second round of play down at Fort Worth, Texas, the Colonial National Golf Tournament. Lee Trevino shot a 29 on the back nine, has a one-stroke lead over Miller Barber.
Don, the way you play, they told me that you could shoot 29 on 2 holes.
I can get there. Give me enough water. You're going to see live coverage of that beginning at 4 o'clock Eastern Time tomorrow. And then again Sunday following the 5th game of this Boston-Cleveland series. That'll be on at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. Golf tomorrow at 4 and then at 5. One of the great events in thoroughbred racing, the 101st running of the Preakness from Pimlico. Now here's how he breaks down here at Cleveland, at Richfield, Ohio. The Cavaliers with a 53% shooting in the first half. Boston has prevailed in free throws. Look at that, 13-3.
Well, again, I think the difference in the rebounding and fouls attempted is the fact that Boston has gotten the ball down. They penetrated better, and also their board play has been better, as you can see by the difference in the rebounding. Cleveland with a big edge in the shooting percentage, but again, most of their shots from outside. Boston's worked very hard inside. Here's the team scoring for Cleveland. Bingo Smith had a hot hand first half, 14 points. Jimmy Cleamons had 9 first quarter, not scoring the second quarter, and they were pretty well balanced. For Boston, the people that you would expect. JoJo White, very steady, 14 points. Dave Cowens, a big first half, 13 points in a fine floor game. Charlie Scott, also 10 first half points. Don Nelson come off the bench to score 8. And, of course, John Havlicek did not score for Boston in the first half, and we probably won't see him for the rest of this ball game.
And hello, Cleveland. Or hello, Akron. John Havlicek standing over by the Boston Celtics, but it's very doubtful he'll play anymore tonight as Bill Fitch and his Cleveland Cavaliers break their huddle. There is Havlicek in his 14th season with the Boston Celtics.
Don, it really tells you something about this Boston ball club and what tremendous personnel they have and what tremendous tradition they have. Without a great star like Johnny Havlicek in the lineup, down big in the first quarter, come back to the lead by 2 at halftime against a young, outstanding Cleveland ball club.
Well, we're ready to go now into the second 2 quarters of this, the 4th game of the NBA Eastern Finals. That's how it looks at the half out of Phoenix. The Golden State Warriors leading 3 games to 2, up by 3 at the half.
We understand Rick Barry had a very big second quarter down there to get the Golden State Warriors ahead in that ball game.
The Cavaliers bring the ball up court. Bringing it inbounds here is Jim Cleamons against Charlie Scott. Scott is playing with 3 personal fouls. Sat out much of the second quarter. Jim Brewer has the ball as Thurmond comes out high. Up to Bingo Smith, who's been shooting brilliantly from the outside and keeps it right up now. He ties the game.
Don, there's one of the few times that the Cleveland Cavaliers were able to come off a Celtic screen and get a wide-open shot, and, of course, Bingo Smith capitalizes on it.
Bingo Smith now has 16 points as Cowens gets the ball for the Celtics. Out to Charlie Scott. Firing up from way, way out, and Charlie Scott gets it. He can be horrendous from out there, but if he gets out, he can score everything in the world and go in.
Don, he only shot 38% in the first 3 ball games this playoff, but Charlie Scott has really had a tremendous adjustment to make over here at Boston. They've asked him to run the offense, asked him to become a defensive player, and I think maybe he's neglected his offense a little bit.
Nate Thurmond comes out high, brings Cowens away from the board as Thurmond tries to go to the basket. He loses the ball to Kaversky, and here comes Charlie Scott for the Celtics with Silas on the right flank. Scott pulls up, not quite enough there, and Thurmond takes down the defensive board. Cleamons looking to trigger the line drive pass down the floor, but he saw Celtic back. It would have intercepted. And so Jim Cleamons brings the ball up with a calculated dribble knee high and goes out to Nate Thurmond. Look at this.
Don, I can tell you that that's not the shot that Nate Thurmond shoots the best. But when he's on, he's going to shoot a very good percentage of it. And tonight he's been on.
Nate Thurmond trying to force Cowens to come out. Cowens is staying back, so Thurmond's taking the shot, and he's starting to hit it. He now has 8 points. The game is again tied at 53. Down low, they get the ball inside. And JoJo White, who's not scored for a while, gets his first points in the second half. He has 16, hit 14 in the first half. Was quiet the last part of the second quarter. Bingo Smith with the ball as Silas comes out. Smith giving away inches to Silas on defense. Cleamons off Scott. Goal doesn't go, and here comes Silas at 6'7", leading the Boston Celtics fast break. Gets it to the middleman, JoJo White. Gets it to Kaversky. A foul is called on Steve Kaversky of Boston.
You know, Don, Paul Silas in the first half of this ball game had only 2 rebounds. And he's been averaging 17 through the playoff, but I guarantee you he'll pick up the pace in the second half of Boston.
Boston with 13 free throws made out of 14 attempts. That was a big difference in the first half as the Celtics held to a 2-point lead at the end of the first 2 quarters. Cleveland led by 4 at the end of the first quarter, 27-23. Up that lead to 11, but Boston came back. Snyder firing from way outside. Rebound tapped by Kaversky, tapped to Silas. Celtics playing volleyball. They've got all that muscle on the board. A steal by Cleamons, nobody near him.
Boy, you could see that coming. Don, right in front of us. We both saw it. Paul Silas made a mistake, and Jimmy Cleamons just stepped right inside the defensive man, but he was hiding among the other shirts out there.
Now Dave Cowens puts it up. The rebound tapped out, and JoJo White gets it, and here is a foul call. This one's going to go against big Jim Brewer.
If you could see Jimmy Cleamons just stepping inside of Charlie Scott, he goes up and stops the basketball. This player, Jimmy Cleamons, has really improved this game. He's got a great future ahead of him.
Here is another foul call. This one goes against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and Bill Fitch is up and hollering out.
That's a bad call. That was not a good call. JoJo White jumped into him. Bad call.
Dick Snyder gets his first personal foul. We have 8 minutes and 55 seconds left to go in the third quarter. The Cavaliers and Celtics are tied up 55-55. You can see Paul Silas, the great professional he is, he's still muttering to himself over turning that ball over to Cleamons.
Well, he knew he made a mistake, and you could almost see the look on his eyes. Oh, my goodness. Here it goes. But I'll guarantee he'll get it back somewhere in this ballgame.
The Celtics pressuring the ball. Now Charlie Scott backs off Jim Cleamons a little. Cleamons a very excellent dribble with the ball. Jim Brewer stands to the outside. Kaversky looking to drop off as Brewer comes around the top, and not enough there, and Silas takes the rebound, and he is indeed getting more rebounds now early in the third quarter. Kaversky shooting a shot he seldom takes. And it goes right down for Steve Kaversky. And the Celtics open up a 4-point lead.
Don, Cleveland's going to have to get inside a little bit better. Their offense is strictly over the top. They're going to have to be able to get up to the free throw line some.
Now Dick Snyder turns around, puts one up for the Cavaliers, and finds a nice soft basket that lets it roll on in. And it's a 2-point game, Boston.
He might be the best outside shooting guard in basketball today.
He's from nearby North Canton, Ohio. Kaversky comes right back. This time, just look at Thurmond. Rip it down. Football pass to Snyder up court, but 4 Celtics are back. Here's Brewer, left free. Had the free shot, but could not make it go, and the Celtics hold to a 2-point lead as they come down court, forcing the ball up. Scott gets it again from the outside. Charlie Scott with that high rainbow arcing shot. He has 14 points. Again, the Celtics lead by a 4-point margin. Heinsohn comes out and says to Silas, you're doing a great job. Don't worry about the turnover, and we have a timeout on the floor.
These are 4 of the leading small cars in America. If you're considering one of these cars, you should know that tests certified by the United States Auto Club showed that Ford's Pinto Pony, even with its road-hugging weight, went from 0 to freeway speed faster than any of them, passed quicker than any of them, and climbed hills better than any of them. This kind of performance helps make Pinto the best-selling small car in America at your Ford dealer.
Why are men switching to America's fastest-growing hairspray, Vitalis Super Hold? The pump?
It can hold longer than a leading aerosol.
The pump's not an aerosol, so you don't spray any aerosol propellants.
The pump costs less to use, saves money.
The pump, Vitalis Super Hold. It's not an aerosol, can hold longer, and costs less to use.
And that's why I switched to the pump.
Vitalis Super Hold.
Tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports will present the 101st running of the Preakness from Pimlico, featuring Bull Forbes and Honest Pleasure racing for the middle jewel of the Triple Crown. That's the Preakness tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern.
Back to live action. This is Don Cricket with Jerry West at Richfield, Ohio, where over 21,500 are packed in for Game 4 of the NBA Eastern Finals. The Cavaliers of Cleveland with the ball, trailing the Celtics by 4 points. Here is Bingo Smith, one-on-one against Silas. Going down low to Thurmond, back to Bingo Smith. Perfect arc on Millar, and Bingo Smith rifles up his 17th and 18th points.
John Bingo Smith has really had a sensational shooting night, but he's the one Cavalier who's getting pretty good shots. The Celtic defense has really tightened up against the rest of the ball club, and maybe they'll look to Bingo Smith as this ball game goes on.
Joe White puts the ball into Cowens, looking to put it up over Thurmond. He does, but Jim Brewer is there to rip down the defensive board. Up court to Snyder. Tripling up on the ball. The Celtics hawking that ball. They go back outside now, the Cleveland Cavaliers. We have 6 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in the third quarter here at Richfield, Ohio. The Cavaliers and the Celtics are all tied up at 61. Bobby Smith, a 6'6" forward out of Tulsa, has ignited the Cavaliers' comeback. He has been drilling outside shot after outside shot. His last one from 20 feet out tied the game. And now the ball turns over to Cleveland on a foul against Glenn McDonald. Jim Brewer with the ball now for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They've been using the perimeter offense, moving the ball around the outer horn, looking to get their quick shooting outside players ready for the long shot. Here's Thurmond putting it up. He's been throwing up some spectacular stuff. And Cleveland comes back to take the lead.
Boy, this crowd got awfully quiet for a while, but let Cleveland come back and they'll just explode again.
And a foul call underneath. It'll go against the Cavaliers as Tom Heinsohn looks on. Already assessed one technical. He has to watch his deportment here. One more and he's out.
One technical in a near fight.
Almost he tried to get at Cleamons, the backcourt player for the Cavaliers, but his players held him back. Joe White will put the ball in bounds as both teams are under the limit. We have 6:01 to play in the third quarter. 63 to 61. The Cavaliers are in the lead. Cleveland was down at the half by 2. Joe White firing out to Glenn McDonald. And Bingo Smith loses the ball to Cowens, and Thurmond tips it out. Here's a foul call against Boston. Looks like Silas.
Don, you can't give enough credit to Nate Thurmond. He's done a tremendous job for this ball club to this point.
And now, the Boston Celtics want timeout.
Now comes Miller time. You're so good you can play the blues even when you ain't sad. And now it's time to head for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life, America's quality beer.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Miller Beer.
You're about to travel the extra miles the average car will get from a tank full of gasoline by changing to a new, higher-priced synthesized motor oil that reduces friction so well, it can save you up to 10 miles per tank full. New Mobil 1, the oil that saves you gas.
sold-out Coliseum at Richfield, Ohio. 21,500 up and screaming for their Cavaliers, and they've come back to take the lead, 63-61.
Don, this crowd was very quiet, but all of a sudden, Nate Thurmond and Bingo Smith have got him going again. This is really tremendous help in a close ball game.
This will be a whole new series if Cleveland evens it up tonight. If Boston wins, they would, of course, be ahead 3 games to 1. And head back to Boston Garden for what could be the decider Sunday afternoon. We have 5:30 to play in the third quarter. 63-61. Cleamons pulling up nicely. Beautifully done.
Boy, they're on fire right now. That's 5 in a row that they've hit from outside.
5 in a row from the outside. Cleamons has 13. Cowens is looking to shoot on Thurmond. Thurmond got a piece of the ball, and the Cavaliers come up with it. Thurmond playing an excellent game. Outstanding game for Cleveland.
Tommy Heinsohn has made a substitution. He's put Glenn McDonald to try to cool off Bingo Smith.
Look at this guy shoot!
Oh, my.
Bobby Smith with 22. And the Cavaliers have opened up a 6-point lead.
Basketball is a strange game. It looked like everything was going wrong for them. Now, suddenly, everything's going right for Cleveland.
Jake O'Donnell right on top of the play said the ball grazed the forehead of Dick Snyder. Cavaliers thought Cleveland had thrown it, or Celtics had thrown it away, and I think the Celtics are pretty sure they'd thrown it away.
Have you noticed how much tougher the Cleveland defense has gotten since they started to hit again?
That's right. That picked that whole team up. The shooting of Bingo Smith has been spectacular. Now Scott fires away. Boy, he's been on fire.
I tell you, he's kept Boston in this ball game with some real good play. And with John Havlicek out of lineup, he and JoJo White have had 2 big scoring ball games so far. They're going to need it the rest of the ball game.
It is 67-63, a 4-point lead for the Cavaliers. Jim Brewer looking to move on Silas. They go to Bingo Smith. He wants to play one-on-one basketball because no one's been able to stop him yet. Nate Thurmond missed it all. He was due. He's been hit very well for Cleveland. JoJo White's pulling up. Knock in the arm. Can't get the shot. Cowens comes in to sweep down the offensive board. Glenn McDonald gets the cross-court pass. Again the Celtics get it. Again the Celtics get it. Foul call on Cleveland.
Dave Cowens. Here's what makes Dave Cowens such a great basketball player. What's this unbelievable effort on his part? The shot taken from the outside, gets the rebound, throws it back up, misses it again, gets it again, and he's jumping behind.
Under the limit, so the Celtics bring the ball inbounds. Here is JoJo White moving on Dick Snyder. They give him a clear side to the right. JoJo White is picked up by Cleamons. Charge on JoJo White.
That great Cleveland defense.
3 on White.
Okay, look at him. Look at Jimmy Cleamons switch out. He runs right into him. Great defense on their part.
Cleamons going back and forth with JoJo White.
He was after Tommy Heinsohn a little bit earlier.
Look in this league is you don't mess with JoJo White.
Jimmy Cleamons is a tough young man. But I don't think these players, it really shows you how emotional this ball game is. Everyone wants to win. These guys are friends off the court. They know it's just really in the heat of this battle, this ball game.
Bingo Smith looking to go to the basket. He's been so tough, so very tough in the third quarter. 67-63 Cleveland. 3:25 to play in the third quarter. Now Cowens is switching off. They're switching everybody off on Bingo Smith. Nate Thurmond hooks it up. Not quite enough there. Gets the offensive board and puts it back up and in. Nate Thurmond gives the Cavaliers a 6-point lead. Jerry West.
Boy, Nate Thurmond is playing some ball game inside. Playing against a younger, strong player.
Oh!
It's really been super.
All Silas would have had a 3-point attempt. Now Fitz is protesting.
Shows you the great effort of Nate Thurmond, and Paul Silas is fouled again inside, and also Bill Fitz receives a technical foul.
Campy Russell just got his 4th personal foul. And a technical foul is signaled against Bill Fitz. Fitz is the center of a controversy here in Cleveland as to whether or not he's going to leave the team. They've been going back and forth, various reports in the papers.
Don, there's a lot of reports in the paper that he's coming to Los Angeles. Everyone has denied it, but usually where there's smoke, there's some fire somewhere.
Paul Silas at the free throw line for the Boston Celtics. Silas has 5 points. And it's a 69-65 game. Cavaliers in the lead, 3:05 to play in the third quarter. Paul Silas gets them both. Now, Campy Russell brings the ball inbounds to Cleamons. Jim Cleamons working up court. He is screened off by Nelson as they come out to zone trap him. To Campy Russell in the corner. Moving on, Don Nelson. Russell flips out. Here's a foul call. Foul call will go against the Celtics. Don Nelson gets his third. And Boston calls a timeout.
Chevrolet's Monza Town Coupe was created to be elegant, very elegant. Its style to be dressy, finish to be formal, refined to be personal. You can surround yourself with available appointments like an AM/FM stereo tape system and a sliding sky roof. Also available, a V8 engine and 5-speed transmission. It's dressy and Chevy. Consider this a formal invitation to test drive Chevrolet's Monza Town Coupe. Black tie optional, of course.
AMF presents All Work and No Play makes another dull day. You've got to work to live. But if you live to work, you're only living half a life. AMF says, go, recreate, let your other half live. We make Crestliner boats, Roadmaster bicycles, Harley-Davidson motorcycles. We make weekends. And weekends make work a lot easier to live with.
Tonight on the CBS Late Movie, there's beautiful girls as far as the eye can see, and eagle-eyed Elvis doesn't miss a one. Romance is in the air with Elvis Presley in Girl Happy.
Tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern and Sunday at 4:30 Eastern Time, CBS Sports will present the $200,000 Colonial National Golf Tournament from Fort Worth, Texas, where Lee Trevino, Hubie Green, Tom Weisskopf, and many other of the top players on the tour will be going for a $40,000 first prize. The action begins tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. Today, Lee Trevino shot a course record 29 on the back nine, finished the day at 64, and has a one-stroke lead. Jerry?
Tom, here's Tommy Huntington, very worried man now, concerned about his team maybe losing a little momentum at this point. But they're going to be in this ball game all the way. For Cleveland, 56% shooting so far in this ball game. Boston shot only 40%. They're behind by only 3 points.
Cleveland has 9 more field goals than the Celtics, 33-24. But the Celtics have phenomenal free throw shooting. They're 18 of 19 free throws, whereas Cleveland has only taken 7 and made 3. It wouldn't even be a game if the free throws were either close.
Well, Don, the reason Cleveland's not getting up to the free throw line, all their shooting is coming from the outside, and Boston's penetrating and rebounding real well on the inside, and that's why the big difference in the foul shot.
Precisely. Cavaliers, an outside shooting team. There it is again. Boy, they got some guys that can knock it home.
Well, there's a very tough matchup for anyone in this league. Campy Russell, a great star in the future in this league.
JoJo White has the ball slapped up and gets it over to Charlie Scott. Nelson looking to put it up on Campy Russell, and we have a traveling violation signaled against Don Nelson for the Boston Celtics. Now, in the third quarter, Phoenix and Golden State all tied up at 76.
Well, let's hope they don't have the same kind of ending. These guys won't be able to talk for a week.
They had that double overtime Sunday, one of the most spectacular games I've ever seen. 2:18 to go in the third quarter. Snyder looks, goes down low and threw it away. Bingo Smith was wide open. He didn't see him. And Cowens lays it in off the break. Big Red firing out first.
The one thing that Dickie Snyder does not do well is that's pass the basketball. And there's a pretty good indication of that play.
Now with it score 71-68, the Cavaliers turned the ball over. Campy Russell was traveling. 1:55 left to go in the third quarter. Cavaliers by 3, 71-68. JoJo White looking to go inside to Cowens. He's out high, driving on Thurmond. They want to draw fouls. Clean block. Here comes Kempy Russell. To Bingo Smith. Look at the shooting of Bingo Smith.
Don, I thought he could make a layup on that play, but instead he takes a 15-footer and just like a layup.
And again, the Cavaliers lead by 5. A minute and a half to go. Third quarter. The very best in basketball, NBA playoff basketball here on CBS. The Cleveland Cavaliers down by 2.5. Here is Charlie Scott shooting. Thurmond takes it down and lost the basketball. Let's watch the play before as Thurmond blocks the shot.
Nate Thurmond, Don, has probably the longest arms of any player in the basketball. And that gives him tremendous advantage because he doesn't jump as well as he once did. This is this ovation for Nate Thurmond.
Charlie Scott gets the ball. In down to Silas, out to JoJo White. Tapped around Silas with the offensive rebound, and a foul is called on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Kempy Russell just got his fifth. Jim Brewer coming back in.
Kempy Russell got his fifth. That's going to hurt this ball club because they might need his scoring in the last quarter. Bill Fitt's going to get him out of the ball game. Don Nelson drew that foul.
Cavaliers were one of the best teams on the road this year in the NBA. They were 500 on the road. I think only Golden State played as well on the road.
You know, one of the reasons I really feel they were a good team on the road, they have a great bench. Even though Jim Jones is out, they still have a great bench, and they bring a lot of players in. They're fresh all the time, and all of them are enthusiastic, and they all seem to play well on the road.
1:09 to go in the third quarter as Don Nelson again shot puts in the free throw. He now has 9 points, and 7 of them have come from the free throw line. It is a 4-point game, Cleveland. And now the Cavaliers' lead is cut to 73-70. 1:08 left to go. The clock running here in the third quarter as Cleamons crushes the ball up court. Sends Scott to the floor with a behind-the-back dribble. Here's Bingo Smith. The man has been eaten up. The Boston Celtics on the outside. Cleamons looks. Scott against him. Inside to Luke Whitty. Cowens blocks the shot, but Snyder gets the ball. Jim Brewer shooting. And JoJo White at 6'3" comes inside to take down the defensive board. Inside to Scott. He was traveling.
JoJo White makes a good pass to Charlie Scott on that play, but just a little bit behind him, and Charlie Scott was on the move. And just that pass that was off about a foot caused him to travel on the play.
The Boston Celtics with an inordinate number of turnovers for them. They have 15 turnovers in the game so far. We are now under a half minute to go in the third quarter. 25 seconds on the clock. The Cavaliers by 3. Bingo Smith again. This time not quite enough, but they get the offensive board. And the Cavaliers will set up for a final shot.
Smart play on this young Boston ball club.
It was. Instead of firing it right back up, they elected to set it up. They'll run it right down now. Scott is called for the foul. He has 4.
Only 5 seconds left now, Don. Cleveland's going to have to run a real quick play to try to get a good shot away.
Charlie Scott commits as many fouls as any player in the league, but Heinsohn says he does it because he plays a tough defensive game. Not quite there, and there is the end. Look at that. That wasn't that far off. That is the end of the third quarter with the score, Cleveland 73 and the Boston Celtics 70.
Slow down, sis. Watch where you're going.
Sheriff, your new Johnson CB radio is coming in loud and clear.
I'm giving you one more warning, sis.
Johnson makes a very professional CB. Automatic speech compression, automatic noise limiting.
Remember, it says be more careful. Now, let's get out of here.
Anything you say, Sheriff.
Keep in touch with the CB the professionals use. Johnson, the great American adventure.
10 forward.
See these balloons? They explode very easily. And we're going to drive a loaded 76 Ford pickup next to this wall of balloons over these bone-jarring 4x4s. One torch goes on the wheel and one to the door. Watch watch the suspension take a real pounding as the torch explodes the balloons. But the torch attached to the door doesn't. That's because Ford's exclusive twin I-beam suspension is designed to take punishment and not deliver jolts to the body.
93 out of 100 of all Ford trucks registered since 64 are still on the job.
The NBA playoffs on CBS will continue after this word from your local station. Was Richard Nixon really out of control during his final days in the White House? Watch 60 Minutes Sunday on CBS.
With Jerry West, this is Don Crickey back at Richfield, Ohio. The Cleveland Cavaliers head into the fourth quarter now with a 3-point lead over the Boston Celtics. This is Game 4 of the NBA Eastern Final. The Celtics leading 2-1. Cleveland needing a win very badly to even it up. Cowens goes to the basket. Whitty blocked him out. Loose basketball, and who's going to come up with it? Jim Cleamons.
O'Donnell. Charlie Scott threw the technical foul.
Here at Richfield, Ohio, Charlie Scott of the Boston Celtics has just been assessed a technical foul, and Bingo Smith of the Cleveland Cavaliers, the man who has done it for them tonight, put in his 25th point on the technical foul, and now the Cavaliers bring the ball inbound. They were down by 2 at the half, have rallied back now to where they lead 74-70 with 11:30 left to play in the game. Austin Carr in the game, going to the basket on JoJo White. The roll won't go. Luke Whitty comes down with the ball. He is tied up by Don Nelson. A very volatile crowd here outside of Cleveland. Almost 21,600 jamming this arena. And they're explosive. The tap control by Whitty. Down low, he puts the ball up against Dave Cowens. Luke Whitty drives one in.
The people's choice in Cleveland, Luke Whitty.
Charlie Scott goes to the basket, and a foul is called against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And Scott draws a shooting foul for the Celtics.
Don, there is one situation where if Luke Whitty would have positioned himself real well, he would have drawn an offensive foul. Charlie Scott was going to take that ball and drive in there. You could see he made up his mind. But he's going to get to the free throw line instead.
And Charlie Scott brings the Celtics back to within 5. It is a 76-71 game.
Charlie Scott's had a big ball game for him here tonight. Against Buffalo, that went to a regular season game. He came up with maybe his biggest ball game of the season. And tonight he's been very good again.
And right away, Don Nelson gets the ball and puts it right back up, and all of a sudden, the Celtics come right back into the game. They trail by 3. Jim Cleamons looking in the backcourt with Austin Carr. Carr plays away from the ball. Bingo Smith looking to get it. He's been so hot. And he stays right on it. 27 points. Outstanding shooting from the outside by Bingo Smith.
He has really been something this ball game.
Austin Carr guarding Charlie Scott. Nelson going to the basket. Here's a foul call. Goes against the Cavaliers. We'll look at it again.
Just a little move here, trying to help out in a very quick Charlie Scott, and Don Nelson, look at him use his head. Just absolutely draws that foul.
The Celtics...
Excuse me, Don, he didn't have a chance to make that. He was just drawing that foul.
And it's a 78-74 game, Cleveland in the lead. The Boston Celtics getting good momentum, good motion in their offense. Men moving back and forth across the lane. The Cavaliers have been in constant motion. They run a different offense, a lot of outside stuff. Players coming around the top, working off high picks, screens. The shoot from the outside. That's been the sport of this team. Austin Carr goes to Jim Brewer. Stakem on Carr. Here is Bingo Smith against Silas. One-on-one. They clear a side for him. Carr puts it in, and he is called for a travel. Austin Carr has not given it to Cleveland in this game. He won one of the earlier games at 17 points.
Don, he's going to have to pick his dribble up one dribble earlier because he's taking it right back to the defense again, and Boston is switching so well, you just have to control yourself coming off the screen.
13 turnovers in the game for the Cavaliers, 15 for the Boston Celtics. John Nelson loops it down low to Silas, whips it out to Charlie Scott. Here's a whistle inside. 3 seconds against Boston, and Nate Thurmond comes back in the game for Cleveland. Thurmond has 12 points, and he congratulates Luke Whitty, who gave him a good rest. Whitty held off Cowens while he was in there.
One of the most likable men in the NBA, Nate Thurmond.
He's meant so much to the Warriors for so many years. Whole career with the Warriors prior to coming to Cleveland. Austin Carr fires it up. Silas is down with a rebound. 3-point game. 78-75, 9:35 to go in the game. Stakem against Carr. Here's Charlie Scott from way out. Again, the Boston Celtics get the offensive rebound. Slapped out of bounds by Nate Thurmond.
Well, you have to really give it to these Boston Celtics. They never stop working. They never stop hustling. They run their offense. They play the tough defense. And no matter how well the other team plays, you just don't get them out of the ballgame.
Boston, 5 men working hard. Everybody comes to their game face down. Everybody plays in the Celtics team like Cleveland. Here comes the Cavaliers, the Bingo Smith. He's so cool, so collected as he moves and works with the ball, looking to fire up that 15, 18-foot jump shot. Thurmond can't get it this time.
Tough time to go cold now, and that's what Cleveland's doing.
Tapped over to Jim Brewer by Thurmond. Foul on Cowens. He's got 5.
Okay, we have the play again. This is not the smartest foul that Dave Cowens ever got. Not a good foul.
Dave Cowens at rest.
What a fantastic basketball play that man.
Our score has Cowens for 5 personal fouls. Official score has him for 4. 79-75. Jim Cleamons with another chance now for the Cavaliers, and the rebound is down to Dave Cowens. He leads all rebounders in the game, but Nate Thurmond is close behind. Thurmond has 5 blocked shots for the Cavaliers. Don Nelson goes to Silas. Tight defense by both teams. Defenders are fighting through the screens and picks. JoJo White on the drive off glass. It's a 2-point game, Cleveland. JoJo White has 21.
JoJo White played a big ball game here tonight. He has really started giving them great scoring in the backcourt.
Whole series, JoJo White has been outstanding for the Celtics, and here is the guy who's prevailed for Cleveland, Bingo Smith. Austin Carr, one-on-one, shoots on Stakem. Carr just going to be able to do it. No rotation on the ball at all.
Don Austin Carr simply is not getting set when he's shooting the ball. He's rushing a little bit. It looks like he's a little bit anxious to shoot the ball.
Dave Cowens against Nate Thurmond. Silas against Brewer. Celtics post 2 men down low. JoJo White moves off the screen, set by Cowens. Brewer with the ball. Austin Carr. He loses the ball going for the layup. Stakem takes it the other way. Blocked again. 2-on-1 break. Lead to Austin Carr, and he gets it this time.
Boy, Don, that's a play you'd like to see a ball player come back with. Makes a mistake, comes back and makes a very important basket.
And the Celtics call timeout. Cleamons leads the fast break. Perfect lead to Carr, and he slides in.
Three months ago, this lady couldn't run around our block. This morning, 3 miles in under 24 minutes.
23.
And I've got her eating the good breakfast she used to feed me. And you better believe Wheaties is part of it. The whole wheat in Wheaties offers basic nutrition. Good, wholesome whole wheat with all of the bran. Yeah, she eats right and stays fit. 3 miles in under 24 minutes.
23.
She's been working out without me. You've been working out without me?
I've been working out without him.
If you want this much room and a stable ride and really believe you'll only get it in a bigger car, you're in for a pleasant surprise. Because now you can get that room and ride in the first wide small car, the AMC Pacer. That may explain why half the people buying the Pacer are trading in bigger cars for it. They've also discovered that without all that excess weight, they're getting better gas mileage.
Remember the name, Bandag. It's going to change all your ideas about retreads. Bandag is a different kind of retread. So tough, it went the distance in the Baja 500 and raced in the 24 hours of Daytona. So sure-footed, it set a utility-class record at Pikes Peak. Bandag, performance-proved retreads for cars, pickups, and vans from a world leader in pre-cured truck tire retreading. See Yellow Pages for participating dealers. Bandag.
Tomorrow at 5 o'clock Eastern Time, CBS Sports will present the 101st running of the Preakness from Pimlico, featuring bold Forbes and honest pleasure, racing for the middle jewel of the Triple Crown. The Preakness, tomorrow at 5 o'clock Eastern Time here on CBS. Jerry West, you have some shooting percentages.
But Don, as we mentioned, we didn't feel Cleveland could keep up that pace, but they're still over 50%, shooting 53%. Boston shooting only 37%, and behind by only 4 points. An indication of what a great ball club Boston really is.
Boston has shot 25 free throws and hit 23. Phoenix Suns holding to a slim lead with 8.5 minutes to go out there. Phoenix must win that game to stay alive. Golden State ends the series if they win tonight. And the Celtics would go up 3 games to 1 if they win this one. JoJo White missed it all. Ball back over to Cleveland. Brewer sneaking down toward Early.
Jim Brewer played that play very well and caused JoJo White to take a better rush shot and didn't hit anything.
Campy Russell harassed by Paul Silas. Russell looking to put it up. Look at that shot. Oh! You don't take shots like that.
They not only take them today, Don, they make them.
83-77. Timeout by the Boston Celtics. 6:58 left to go in the ball game, and the Cleveland Cavaliers now lead 83-77.
Everybody wants to get on the floor.
It's not just athletes that get athlete's foot. Innocent men, women, and children can get it too, just by coming in contact with it. And man, does it itch. Well, the first itch you feel, you spray on MP27. MP27 will kill that athlete's foot fungus and help keep it from coming back. Believe me, I've seen a whole lot of scratching going on. MP27 is the end of the itch.
A weekend outing with the troop in their gear? This looks like a job for a super wagon. Our versatile Chevy Suburban. A load too big for an ordinary station wagon? Another job for a super wagon. 14,500 pounds of Suburban, people, cargo, and trailer. Super wagon does it again. Chevy Suburban. Tows, holds, seats more than any ordinary station wagon. Your money's worth, mile after mile.
You work in the sky with nothing to hold on to but the wind and the cold steel beam. And it's a very long day until a whistle blows telling you it's Miller time. Time for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life, America's quality beer since 1855.
We've got the time, we've got the beer. Miller beer.
Nate Thurmond just looks over to Jerry West. Having a big game, Nate Thurmond.
Nate Thurmond's had a big game and also had a fantastic career in the NBA.
Paul Silas gets the ball to Cowens, 83-77. Cleveland is in the lead with 6:40 to go. Nelson shoots and drives one home. They leave him home from the corner, leave him free, and he'll knock it in. And now in the backcourt for the Cleveland Cavaliers, we have Jim Cleamons and Austin Carr. Up front, Jim Brewer, Nate Thurmond, and Campy Russell with the ball. Silas against Campy Russell. Heinsohn up protesting something. Tapped out to Austin Carr. Lets the defense come by. That was a little bit of luck.
Well, Don, that's the kind that always seems to go against you when you're away from home. At home, they go for you.
Charlie shot is high. Didn't have enough there. Tapped out by Thurmond. Lead to Campy Russell. Look at that play. Unbelievable. And all of a sudden, the Cavaliers have ripped open an 87-79 lead with 5:45 left to go. JoJo White comes right back. That'll quiet a crowd.
Don, there's nothing like a basket from the opposing team to quiet him down.
Almost at travel as Campy Russell had the ball on the shoulder. 87-81, a 6-point lead for Cleveland. Jim Cleamons dancing inside. Now they have Austin Carr one-on-one with Scott. He has foul trouble. Back outside to Cleamons. Cowens goes down, and Cleamons puts it up, and Nelson takes the rebound down for Boston. And JoJo White quickly fills in the middle lane. Scott calling the play.
Who wants Boston? Boston's going to win a great play.
Brewer feeds to Cleamons. Back to Brewer. Basket goes. There's a foul on the play.
Don Jim Brewer made one of the smartest plays I've seen a basketball player make in a long time. Watch this steal. He comes from behind Paul Silas. Back to the little man, and that's the way a fast break should be run. Great play.
Jim Brewer at the free throw line. He has only 6 points. But his team is now up by 8. We have under 5 minutes to go. 4:55 left to go. A lot of time.
There's plenty of time. This Celtic team is going to be right in this ball game all the way.
Stolen by Austin Carr. Beautiful play by Austin Carr. Stole the ball and took it in against the defense of Charlie Scott. Nelson shoots. Thurmond takes it down. And a foul is called on Cowens of Boston.
I can't believe this crowd. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable crowd. I've never seen anything like it. Almost 26,000, 22,000 people up and screaming incessantly. Looks like a rock concert.
This is where Boston needs John Havlicek. When they're having their problems, they go to a great star like him, and he'll give them something.
He's trying to play Havlicek, the captain of the Celtics. Re-injured his bad foot, has played almost not at all in this game. Jim Cleamons, 12-point lead for Cleveland.
Don, they're bombing that thing from 25 feet and hitting it.
JoJo White. Rebound comes down to Paul Silas. The Celtics looking to get back in the game now as Nelson starts to go down low. Scott, who's been hitting from the outside, can't get that one, but Cowens follows it up. And then Thurmond takes it down. Cowens has 5 fouls.
Don, Nate Thurmond's a very tired man. He picked up the board. He rightfully so. He played a super ball game.
Travelers, Campy Russell had the ball on his shoulder. 87-81, a 6-point lead for Cleveland. Jim Cleamons dancing inside. Now they have Austin Carr one-on-one with Scott. He has foul trouble. Back outside to Cleamons. Cowens goes down, and Cleamons puts it up, and Nelson takes the rebound down for Boston. And JoJo White quickly fills in the middle lane. Scott calling the play.
Who was Boston? Boston's going to win a great play.
Brewer feeds to Cleamons. Back to Brewer. Basket goes. There's a foul on the play.
Don Jim Brewer made one of the smartest plays I've seen a basketball player make in a long time. Watch him steal. He comes from behind Paul Silas. Back to the little man, and that's the way a fast break should be run. Great play.
Jim Brewer at the free throw line. He has only 6 points. But his team is now up by 8. We have under 5 minutes to go. 4:55 left to go. A lot of time.
There's plenty of time. This Celtic team is going to be right in this ball game all the way.
Stolen by Austin Carr. Beautiful play by Austin Carr. Stole the ball and took it in against the defense of Charlie Scott. Nelson shoots. Thurmond takes it down. And a foul is called on Cowens of Boston.
I can't believe this crowd. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable crowd. I've never seen anything like it. Almost 26,000, 22,000 people up and screaming incessantly. Looks like a rock concert.
This is where Boston needs John Havlicek. When they're having a problem, they go to a great star like him, and he'll give them something.
He's trying to play Havlicek, the captain of the Celtics. Re-injured his bad foot, has played almost not at all in this game. Jim Cleamons, 12-point lead for Cleveland.
Don, they're bombing that thing from 25 feet and hitting it.
JoJo White. Rebound comes down to Paul Silas. The Celtics looking to get back in the game now as Nelson starts to go down low. Scott, who's been hitting from the outside, can't get that one, but Cowens follows it up. And then Thurmond takes it down. Cowens has 5 fouls.
Don, Nate Thurmond's a very tired man. He picked up the board, he rightfully so. He played a super ball game.
3:25 to go. Cleveland has opened up its biggest lead, 12 points. JoJo White called for the foul. He has 4.
Donnie Nelson going out of the ball game for Boston. He played a great ball game.
He has.
Played a great ball game.
This whole series is turning around with this game from what could have been a 3-1 lead for Boston. Everything's going. Austin Carr coming back and killing them. 13 points for Carr. A 14-point lead for Cleveland. We're going to have a foul on Thurmond.
Don, I think the impressive thing about this Cleveland ball club, Boston has scored only 81 points, shot only about 35% in this ball game.
Now Luke Whitty's coming in for Nate Thurmond. Listen to the ovation for Thurmond. Charlie Scott with a big play for the Celtics. They come back to within 12. Cappy Russell gets the ball. Glenn McDonald hawking him. Russell at 6'7", starts up court. He has 10 seconds to get over the midcourt line. Russell takes it all the way and left. Phenomenal basketball.
Johnson, you believe a guy that's big can handle the ball like he handles.
JoJo White takes it down the other way, and Cowens follows it up. Brewer with the basketball. It is a 97-83 game. 2 minutes and 25 seconds left to go. Down low to Brewer inside to Austin Carr. No basket. He charged. Austin Carr's basket is disallowed as he charged on the play, his 4th foul. 97-83 with 2:20 to go.
I I guess Tommy Hanks is conceding defeat because Dave Cowens and Paul Silas are two great basketball players going out of the ball game. Tremendous effort on both their parts here in a losing cause.
2:20 to go. Heinsohn pretty much conceding this game, getting ready to regroup now and go back to Boston. Cleveland, like a smart basketball team should, like the Celtics always do, when they get the big lead, when they break it open, they keep the pressure on. You can't go out of your game. Charlie Scott all over Clement's back. And here's Austin Carr feeding off to Luke Whitty. Too much on it. Rebound to Carr.
Not in a ball game like this. Cleveland has done everything right the whole ball game. Boston hadn't played their best ball game. They still hung in there.
Charlie Scott just tripped Whitty. Whitty went down hard, and Scott goes to the bench.
Well, he didn't go down. He decked him.
What'd he do?
He just crashed into him and knocked him down. That was Scott's sixth personal foul also. Charlie Scott and JoJo White both had a big scoring ball game for the Celtics, but not enough tonight.
Extraordinary turnabout in this game. The Boston Celtics were up by 2 at the half, trailed by 3 at the end of 3 quarters, and here in the late stage of the ball game, the Cleveland Cavaliers, on a series of turnovers and subsequent shots, have ripped the game wide open. They now lead 99-83 with 1:35 to go. Heinsohn has taken out all his top guys. Here is Whitty tapping the ball out. Lambert goes to Austin Carr. Carr puts it in. The basket goes. There's a foul on the play.
Crowd.
Never heard anything like it. Just
I've seen some great crowds, but I don't think I've ever seen a crowd like this. In a situation like this, probably the most difficult time of all for a basketball player to play. Cleveland out there overplaying on defense, intercepting passes. Boston has to hurry into their offense. They're making mistakes. And really, this score is not an indication of the way this ball game has been played.
2 minutes to go, and it's still the Phoenix Suns holding to a slim lead. Kavirsky drives, a foul on the play against Cleveland. Austin Carr has been very much a big story in this game. He came in off the bench, did not play well, turned the ball over, shot poorly. Fitz kept him in the game, stayed with him, and all of a sudden he ignited this whole team. Cleamons goes out. 102-83. This looked like it was going to be a game that would go down to the final second.
Well, Don, Cleveland got hot at the right time. Boston turned cold at the right time. But still, you got to feel that Boston really missed John Havlicek in this ball game tonight. You know, these people have been standing for the last 4 minutes of this ball game.
Good. And this is the first time these two teams have gone over 100 points. The Celtics have only 78 in Game 3, their lowest total of the season. John Lambert puts the ball up. He might have been traveling. He was indeed second-year player out of USC. 1 minute left to go in the game as the Boston Celtics put the ball in. They've got their shock troops in now. Jim Ard is in the game. Jacobs is in along with Kavirsky. Anderson in the game. The Boston Celtics getting set to regroup and go back to home. Back to the Boston Garden. Lambert takes the rebound. Brings the ball up court at 6-11. Gives the ball to Austin Carr. Down to Lambert for a slam shot.
Don, that play had to happen. They've had everything but a stuff shot this game so far.
A Mountaineer throws it up. Didn't go. And here comes Fritz Walker. This thing's a track meet the whole game long. Jim Ard takes it down. But it's all over now. Has been for some time. The Cavaliers have blown the game open in the fourth quarter. With 13 seconds to go, they lead 104-85. A most dramatic turnabout here at Cleveland as the Cavaliers, in a game they had to win, came roaring back in the fourth quarter, led by the play of Austin Carr, who made mistake after mistake when he first came in off the bench, and then scored the game wide open. Luke Winnie throws it up. It is now 106-87. 4 seconds left to go. The Celtics will inbound the ball, and the game will end, and the series will be tied at 2 games. That's it. 106-87. The Cleveland Cavaliers with one of their great showings ever in their history in this league. As they rally back to even the series, and now it's on to Boston for Game 5, Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. A game you'll see here on CBS. Heinsohn goes off the court under the harassment of this Cleveland crowd all game long. A crowd of almost 21,600 was on its feet for almost the entire second half of this game cheering the Cavaliers. Jerry West.
Don, we saw a great ball game here tonight in Cleveland.
Now this is Don Crickey for Jerry West saying goodbye from the Coliseum in Richfield Township, Ohio, where the final score is the Cavaliers 106, the Celtics 87.